get back to the mix. DJ.
Welcome back, everybody. This is QSJ Radio, home to the unsigned artists. We are digging up the underground, and today we have a special guest. Today's guest is a rising star who has been taking the country music world by storm. From local markets in Australia to the stages of Nashville and beyond. With chart-topping singles, millions of streams, and a voice that tells stories straight from the heart. She's just not chasing dreams, she's living them. Please welcome the incredible, talented, refreshing, real, absolutely unstoppable, Lily Grace. Lily, how are you?
Good morning, Dave. Thank you so much for having me and for the wonderful intro. Goodness me.
Oh,
I tell you what, it's 8 a.m. It's early. That could be my alarm to wake up, and I'd get up and have a great morning. It's lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. Lily, we have been listening to so many of your songs, and it's incredible the career you've already been having. And if you guys haven't heard, you can hear it. Like, you know, a shout out to my United States American audience here, but you do hear an accent, and the accent. Well, you probably hear one from me too. But the thing is like Australia to Nashville. Can you tell me how this happened?
Yeah, it's been something I've been wanting to do for such a long time. I think, honestly, theoretically, since I was 12, I was like, I want to move to Nashville. I want to write songs, and I want to do country music as my job. And for me, like, I had this antenna up for the word Nashville, and I feel like every time anyone mentioned that word, if there was an opportunity that would help me get there, I was running after it. But started putting out music. My first single I put out was with a guy named James Blundell. And the producer we used on that was Nashville-based. And that was my first kind of foot in the door to the American music scene. And since then, started taking trips. I officially moved over 3 months ago, got my visa, and am now doing the whole thing. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, my. So this is like fresh stuff. This is like one season in. But it's crazy because I think behind the scenes, I'll update people here in a second, but you just came back from down under, right?
I know. I came to America 3 months ago, and I left 2 months later to go back to Australia. So I'm
was that like homesick? What was that?
No, I had a cool tour opportunity that I was offered, nice. And I'm glad I did it. It was a great run, but at the same time, I just got to this new city, and I wanted to pour myself fully into it. So it was a bit of a bittersweet goodbye jumping on that plane.
So let's take a step back real quick. Let's go back to where it all began. What was it about music that first captured your heart at just about 10 years old?
Tiny. I started singing, honestly, never thought of it as a serious career at all. I grew up dancing. I wanted to sing to accompany myself, wanted to play guitar. So I begged my mum to get me singing lessons, and that was, I guess, my first starting thing. But, the first time I guess kind of started taking the step towards doing this more professionally, I went to this festival called the Tamworth Country Music Festival in Australia, which is like, your CMA Fest, massive event, biggest of the year in Australia. And, I was busking on the street, and there's all these buskers, and they line up in the incredibly hot Australian heat and busk every day.
So wait,
And
hold
somehow
on,
I
hold on. For those who don't know what busking is, because
okay,
we got
break it
different.
down for
What is
you don't use
busking?
busking?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Really?
And if we do,
Wow.
it's probably like because I'm in the city and you guys are like,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. I
But
never
what?
knew that. Well, simply put, it's kind of, I guess, begging for money. You put your
Okay,
guitar
okay.
case
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
and you sing, and if people like what they hear, they can hang around or give you money.
Okay.
So it's kind of a step for a lot of musicians before, I guess, you get into the paid gig scene, which it was for me, and I had no gigs. It was just, I'm young, I want to try this. But I got chosen to perform on the main stage in like the top 10 final for the buskers, and I was absolutely scared out of my mind. Had to get on this stage in front of like 5,000 people as this tiny little kid, and I was freaking out. But backstage, I met a lot of Australia's really big artists who were kind of judging the competition, and the thrill of getting off that stage and the community around country music, I think that's what made me fall in love with it first. And after that, just kept taking steps towards, I guess, doing it professionally, never really thinking of it as a career. Um, and it just grew into what it is, and now it's the only thing I could see myself doing.
Now, I got another question for the genre status of what country music is, especially because me in America, I think country music is American music, but
So
we'll leave that there until later on where, um, now performing at these local markets and
mhm.
cafes, they shaped a lot of your confidence. I've seen a lot of videos where you're just
Oh
like
gosh.
this kind of like super confident kid, right? And people coming up to you, they're just oh, you're basically celebrity status almost, right?
Oh
Like it's
gosh.
kind of amazing thing
Like,
to see, but how did these performances shape your confidence?
honestly, I kinda say the opposite. I was
Wow.
really shy when I started. I'm totally grown into myself now, and I feel like Um, it just comes with my job is the confidence and everything like that. But I was a really shy kid, and busking as well, it's a hard gig. Like, you're pulling up to a random street corner and singing for people. 90% of them will ignore you. You'll get dirty looks. And same with like cafe gigs and pub gigs. Like, they're more background music kind of shows where people aren't really paying attention. Um, but they're an opportunity to hone your craft, and you need to do those hours of work to get where you need to be to take that next step. Um, so for me, honestly, I think it was doing like those crappy gigs and just having no ego about it, because if people don't like me, they don't like me. That's okay. I'm doing a good job, or I know I'm working towards where I'm trying to get to. And I feel like that's what's given me the confidence is I don't really if people don't like what I'm doing, that's nothing I have control over anymore. And that's kind of, I guess, where it comes from. It's I'm not scared of being rejected or anything because I did so many hours of those gigs where I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. Definitely. Big shout out to everybody listening in. We're talking with Lily Grace. It's early in the morning. I'm not sure if you're a coffee person, but I am. I need one real quick.
Cheers to that. I wish I had mine.
So you mentioned artists in so many ways have influenced you, Dan and Shay, Taylor Swift, Keith Urban as influences. How do you think they shaped the way that you sound and also your songwriting style?
I look up to a lot of people for different reasons. People I look up to as performers because I love their stagemanship. People I look up to for their vocal ability, for the way they arrange songs, or for the way they structure lyrics. And I think for me, I really try to be Lily Grace, and I'm working on figuring out who that is, and I definitely have a good idea, but I wouldn't say I'm totally there yet. I don't feel like I can look up to an artist specifically and be like, I want to be the female Dan and Shay. I don't think that's something that's really very original to what I'm doing. So when I'm like looking for inspirations, I guess it's kind of trying to refine what I really look up to in that person. What is it I really like about them? And how can I incorporate that into what I'm doing? And that's kind of what I'm just working on creatively at the moment. And when I'm rehearsing and writing songs and in the studio, it's, I loved the riffs and runs that Beyonce did, whatever it is, and just incorporating different elements to try and craft this unique artist that is Lily Grace.
Shout out to Lily Grace, if you guys don't know.
Thank you, Dave. Shout out to Dave to have me on and hyping me up.
Oh, my. So, we talked about the little kid stages, getting on stage, doing a bunch of things that a lot of kids at that age are basically afraid to do, shyness. But then there's these things that are like, what was it like when you started working with like major Australian names like James Blundell and then opening up for Vance Joy? And did you ever sit there and have like this, can somebody pinch me moment? Like, did you ever like sit there and be like, is this really happening? Like,
it's so cool. And I feel so grateful because so many people fight for these kind of opportunities and never get them. And I'm just very fortunate I did. And I do work hard, but I understand that that's an amazing opportunity that I was, presented. But honestly, imposter syndrome in those situations, more than anything, they were both such beautiful people, Vance Joy and James. But I remember before that songwriting session with James, I was freaking out. And I literally had like 20 ideas on backup in case he didn't like the idea I presented. I literally written the whole song before I got on there, like as a backup in case he didn't like my idea. I was like, I'm this kid, this guy's like a platinum artist.
yeah.
All these things.
Wow.
But honestly, like in those situations, you need to understand that, and this is what my mentors were saying to me, like, Lily, like they said yes to writing with you. They said yes to you opening for them. They wanted you to be there. There's no reason to be, I haven't achieved all the things they have. And you always overthink it. You get into those rooms, you get onto that stage, and it's totally fine. It's no different to the work you've been doing leading up to it. I guess it's just more a mental block because it's someone you look up to as an artist and a mentor.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, and I want to talk about that first single that kind of like took off. But before we get to that, I want to talk about this new song. Well, I would consider it new. It's off the album. You sound like one of my kids, I swear. The album is called Don't Want to Be Too
Old Enough to Know Better.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you that all day, okay? I'm gonna be like your radio dad or whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna go into a song. I don't want to cry on my birthday. We'll talk about that song and step into what really happened in the career, because it does take a song to catch people's attention. This one right here is I Don't Want to Cry on My Birthday by Lily Grace on QSJ Radio.
My friends are all posting all pictures of us. My mom has called 3 times now. My phone keeps lighting up. I leave it face down on the nightstand beside me, 'cause I know I'm supposed to be happy, but I don't wanna cut into a perfectly good cake. I don't wanna waste my time trying to decorate. Don't think I can handle blown out candles when I'm just wishing everything I love wasn't so damn far away. I don't wanna cry on my birthday. Hey. Oh. Forgive me if I don't think there's much to celebrate, 'cause 'cause it's lonely in this city. Being here makes me hate confetti and streamers, dollar store balloons, reading handwritten cards that say I'm missing you. I don't wanna cut into a perfectly good cake. I don't wanna waste my time trying to decorate. Don't think I can handle blown out candles. And I'm just wishing everything I love wasn't so damn far away.
Now, let me tell you something about those acoustics right there. Okay. Shout out to those acoustics. Incredible song right there.
Thank
Very, very deep. The writing, country has this way of telling the story without telling a full paragraph, right? I don't want to cry on my
you. Love
birthday.
that.
And it's almost as if, I don't know, like I feel like these are like very, very, something deeper than what we know. I don't want to cry on my birthday song. What was that song about?
It's a homesick song. It's a homesick in the new city song. It's a homesick on the road song. This is the first ballad I ever released, and I've always been I want to write a pop song that's fun, that people can dance to, and we can have a good time together at a concert. And taking a step in this direction was completely different to what I'd done in the past. And it honestly scared me putting it out because I was like, are people going to think it's boring? I think it says so much. But it's honestly done the opposite, and it's really been connecting with so many people in our live shows. People know the words to it, and they're getting their flashlights out and singing it with me,
Wow.
which is the most beautiful thing. But this song is for anyone who's been chasing something that means they have to be away from their family. And the first day I kind of landed in Nashville, and I'd been taking trips back and forth again for a minute. I met an artist named Neil Arts, who's one of my mentors, someone I've always looked up to, and she's from Canada. And we had this conversation, and I was like, what's your advice to me? Like, coming to Nashville, chasing this thing. And she said to me, she was like, Lily, look, you're from Australia, I'm from Canada. Like, being here is a sacrifice because it means, saying goodbye to your family. They're not a quick flight away. It's missing birthdays, it's missing weddings, but knowing you're doing it for the right reasons. And because of that, you have to make every day count and work hard every single day that you're away from them. And I've honestly just tried to run with that ever since I heard it. I think that's such a great word of advice. But this song's about kind of like keeping your head down, branding on what you're trying to, work towards. But then when you look up for a minute and realize how much you're missing, it hitting you and realizing,
Yeah.
I just wish I was with the people I wanted to be with sometimes as well.
Wow. Big shout out to that. Don't cry, Lily. Well, that's good.
Thanks, Dave.
Wow. It just reminds me because when I first left home, because I left home, I never stood at the same place. And that song brought so many things back. And you just wanted to be everywhere at the same time, which is impossible when you're trying to like build a career. And, and shout out to everybody who has been supporting Lily from a distance, because that's the things that really matter. To know that not only they know that you're missing home, but they miss you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Your single Annie June.
Let's
Let's go back in the day. It really took off. And can you talk about the collaboration and the story behind the song? Because I believe this one is the one that impacted your career.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of song where things that don't normally happen. I was booked to open for James Blundell and Tanya Kernigan, who are two of our biggest artists in Australia. There was like this competition that you could enter, and I won the opening slot. So I was very much like new artist, got this opportunity. And I met James and Tanya, and unfortunately Tanya fell sick and she had to pull out before the show. And I met James at this point, and he called me and he was like, Lily, like, do you want to co-headline with me instead of be the opener? Because now we need an extra slot to fill. I was like, oh my goodness, like, yes, I'd love that, but I'm freaking out because I have no band. I've written like, I don't know, 20, 30 songs at this point. Like, I was not developed at all in my musicality. But I was the most annoying little kid. I was like, James, we should write a song together to sing for the show. And he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And I followed up with him so many times. I was like, hey, James, like, we should really write that song. And hey, me again, we should write the song. And he said yes. A lazy Sunday afternoon, I was in my bedroom on a Zoom call. And he's in his back shed being the country guy he is. We wrote this song called Annie June. And we had a bunch of media promoting the show leading up to it. And we sung this song on the radio. And a bunch of people called in and were like, hey, we love this song. Like, where can we find it? And James was like, we should release it. I was like, yeah, like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to release. Like, I'm so young. I'm not sure if this is my sound or anything. He's like, oh, we should do it as like a duet. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's not what I was expecting at all. I thought he meant me release it as my own artist project. So after the show, literally 6 weeks later, we booked a video shoot. We went and filmed it on his farm, did the cover art, got in the studio. Everything was just put together so quickly. It came out, reached number 1 on CMT, had a bunch of radio success in Australia, and it really put me on the map as a new artist in the Australian music scene. But I just feel so thankful for James. Like, he is honestly one of my favorite people in this industry. And I owe so much to him because he, took a bet on a youngster. And it was such a wonderful, really cool way to start your career.
Wow. Is it just like a trip, fall, stumble, pick right back up kind of story?
Completely.
Because someone, like, you were supposed to just show up, just do your thing, whatever. And next thing you know, you got a hit single. And
crazy.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely.
It's so cool. I'm so thankful for him and his whole family. They're such beautiful people. I owe so much to them.
And if you guys are just tuning in, we have Lily Grace in the building. We could, if you guys want more information on Lily Grace, basically after this, lilygracelive.com. Please go ahead, check them out. They are all over the place. Check them out on social media too. They visit a lot of places and and they eat a lot of food, which is really cool. When you released 16 Wishes, it instantly connected with listeners. What inspired that track, and did you expect it to hit like that?
We're going way back. I haven't been asked these questions in such a long time. This is so cool.
Sorry.
No, this is because I want to step back into my whole journey and stuff. It's wonderful. 16 Wishes, I wrote. My childhood was a bit different to a lot of people's. I was completely chasing this music thing, and I was doing cover gigs like 3-4 times a week. And while like the other kids I was going to school with were, going out and having sleepovers and everything, a lot of the time I was doing my shows instead on the weekends. And I guess I was kind of a little bit sick of it, and I was loving it because I knew that I was, saving up my money. I was working on my craft. I was doing all the things to, chase this music thing. But I was also kind of frustrated because I saw my friends having these wonderful memories and great times, and I feel like I was missing out a little bit. So that's what this song was about. It was about kind of wanting to step away from that for a minute and I guess just experience something different.
I'm going to sit here and just going to tell people, like, I really take artists serious because it just did not start for you. This started before the adolescent stages. This was something like before you even started probably liking other humans, it is.
Sure.
This has been a thing. And now you've have incredible success in the business internationally. How does it feel now to go from Gold Coast stages to performing at like a CMA Fest, Bluebird Café, and all these other major U.S. festivals? And did you even hear of some of these festivals you went to? Like, I'm like.
I seriously need to hire you to be side stage before I get on stage. I have Dave hyping us all up, but we it feels
I just want
so
you
cool.
to understand, like, our show is so dedicated to the musician because people forget that it's a dark stage if you don't get the right people around you. It is incredibly expensive. People take advantage of people. It is crazy. And I just, and I already knew you were in good hands from who contacted me. And I was like, bro, let's get serious, right? So
Love my team.
I love the team. The team is amazing. I was like, what? Oh, let's go. So
it's so beautiful what you guys are doing. And I just feel thankful, honestly, for people like you and for people who have supported me to get there, because I think a lot of what I'm doing, even getting my visa, everything like that, all came from the Australian audiences that supported me first. And I've always wanted to come to the States and test things on the world stage. I've always dreamed of doing that. That I get to is the biggest privilege ever. I just try to, keep my head down and keep working towards it to build that base, build the audience here, and do all those things. But I mean, like playing the Bluebird, oh my goodness, was I freaking out that night? That was like at the top of my bucket list of all the
I was
places.
just trying to figure out how many pictures did you take? Because
Oh, thousands.
It had to be like, look at this. Listen, there's a scratch on the window. Like, I would have been crazy.
That's a really good looking scratch, isn't it? We oh my goodness, I felt like I was in heaven that night. It's, as a songwriter and someone who's looked up to people who write such good songs in Nashville, like that is the spot for them to play. And I set foot there my first trip to Nashville, and I was just so, so grateful that I got to do that. But when you get little runs like that, it keeps you going to go, well, I did this. There's no reason I can't do this as well or do this again, and keep writing, honing your craft, and just doing the whole thing.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one break real quick. We're going to show them a video, because there is not just music, people. There's videos out there, crazy smiling. I'm sure that the weather is colder than it shows, but it's whatever. It's all part of the thing. But I wanna go back a little bit to Give Me That, which is part of the new album. It's exactly what a country scene is supposed to be, right around the fire and all that. But we'll definitely talk here in a second. I'm gonna give them a chance to that, and of course, if you guys again, Lily Grace is on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on all that. Do you handle half all these social media?
I do. It's so funny.
We'll get into that here, because I'm sure that like some of that has to be controlled, but I don't know. It's all good. Big shout out to everybody listening. It is Lily Grace, Give Me That, the official music video on YouTube on QSJ Radio.
Chase my plans, hit the grind again. I wanna lie here dreaming instead. I wonder what it's like to live an all strings life, to grab life by the moment. Take a leap and just believe whatever hits me, I'ma own it. Give me that former night. Party crowd raising their hands up high. Kind of boy, grab his hand. Spending all night listen to a street band. Keep on going once they cut the lights. Running bright, floating free like fireflies.
Go stream that. Make sure you guys sub. Make sure you guys also hit the comments, okay? Don't do the bad comments. I mean, that's the worst part of the internet.
No, only hype us up like Dave does.
I'm not. It's not my story though. This is like 100% what you've gone through and things like that. So I like that. People forget there's sub-genres to this country thing. And we can go really different. So you can sit there, hit one instrument, you can get the drums and percussion in there, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You could dance to it, you can cry to it, you can a whole bunch of stuff. And it's crazy how much you've and if people haven't really listened, to know that, okay, this sounds good. This sounds good. This is fine. This can be released. I don't got to go back there and try it again. I'm sure there's probably some songs, but we keep those on the hush. Like, I don't want to record that again. But you've found this sound, and it's taken off. It's captivating. It's whatever. Has it only been country? Because a little bit of that, I thought you was about a freestyle. Like, I thought you was about to bust up some bars, I was like, yo, let's go. But is it only country that currently right now that you're focused on, or is there something?
I listen to a lot of pop, a lot of rock, and a lot of country. So I think that's you can hear that in my sound. There's definitely songs that sound, I guess, like pop songs with country twists, and there's songs that sound a bit more rock. And honestly, I think that's just like a combination of what I listen to. And they always say, my songwriter friends, like, listen to good music and you create good music. Listen to good country music, you'll write good country music. And I think, honestly, like, country is my lane. I'm 100% going to stay in that. But it's just a matter of my influences and what I'm liking and what I'm listening to kind of seeping into my music too.
I'm going to go a little bit back, okay? She's like, oh my God, why does he know so much? Anyways. There's some songs here, okay? There's some songs here. Strong storytelling songs that you guys have. You have The Two of Us Meet, Follow My Road, Bet on Us. I'm trying to figure out this creative process. You are a young lad. Is that safe to say? Young lad, right? And what? And you have an incredible storytelling. Can you tell me, like, this creative process that you have before you go to the studio? Like, what's going on? Like,
I write down every single thought I have into my notes app, and it's hilarious. Like, I will...
The Notes app?
The Notes app, it's a mess.
Shout out to the iPhone.
Shout out to the Notes app.
Yeah.
Mine is full of absolute nonsense, and it's the most random thing. I'll see, I don't know, 2 words I think sound good together, and I'll write them down, and 90% of it I will never use. But for me, like, I love co-writing, and I love co-writing because I feel like it gets a bit deeper sometimes because people ask you those deep questions, and it's like, well, how do you feel about it? And they really get it out of you what you're trying to say. I also love it because I feel like I grow as a writer, co-writing, just learning from other people and picking up on how they work, how they create. But for these bundle of songs, they were all co-written. And it was a matter of me just bringing in my story and what I'm going through, or something one of my best friends is going through, and sharing my stand on it. And for me, Dave, like, what I'm always trying to do is write the next song that's going to connect me to the people I'm trying to connect with. And I think it's about when we're in the selection process for recording, is choosing which songs relate to that audience, which songs are honest enough that they're going to connect with people. And that's kind of, I guess, where we're coming from. It's trying to be authentic. It's trying to be honest. Sometimes I feel like I'm oversharing too, but often the oversharing kind of songs are where people can find themselves in those songs. And I think my responsibility as an artist is to just be as honest as I can be during that.
We're almost coming to the show part where I will ask anybody in the audience listening in, just let us know where you're from and what kind of questions you have for Lily Grace. I do have one from Spain saying, I don't know if it's just me, but I cannot live without the Notes app. Like,
neither can I.
Right? So we're going into current times. You have Old Enough to Know Better. I feel like you're kind of like want people to just leave your growing age out of it. Like, listen, I'm doing this. I feel like it's almost a subliminal, but I also feel like you're yelling at your parents. I don't know. Because I've heard it so many times. I have I have adult children, okay?
That's
And
so
the process is ridiculous. Like, I'll never do that, Dad, when I grow up, and then they'll do it. But anyways, is it old
So
enough to
funny.
know? Is it?
This song is one of my favorite songs I have ever written, and I think it's hilarious because it's so sassy.
Yes.
The funniest part about this, before I get into the story, is I just got off a high school tour. When we were in Australia touring, we did like a run of high school shows as well into lunchtime concerts. And I tell you what, this song popped up. Every little high school kid's like, yes, I don't ever want to be old enough to know better.
Oh
and
my
they're
God.
cheering along to it. It was so funny. But this song, I was writing with one of my favorite co-writers, and I was reflecting on a weekend of bad decisions. And he was like, Lily, you're really old enough to know better than this. And I was like, Steve, I don't ever want to be old enough to know better. And he's like, that is our title. We're going to write that today. And the whole song just wrote itself. And it was at the end of the writing trip as well. And I knew right then that was going to tie together this whole project we were working on.
Wow.
I just think it's hilarious. I love it's honestly a celebration of bad decisions, which everyone seems to want to get behind. So we love that.
Well, I don't. But anyways, I love the song.
At least I do.
Oh my God. It's incredible. Like, cause I know you're going through the tour and things like that, and it's coming almost to an end, but it's like, this leads into the song's self-titled album,
Yes.
which is it a continuation of the celebration of bad decision?
This album is just a picture into where I was at a period of time, which I think honestly was quite innocent, naive, experiencing a lot of things for the first time. And like, that's just what this project is about. I think the next project that I'm writing at the moment is coming from a place of a bit more maturity. Not saying I'm fully there yet, but a more complex understanding of how things work, and understanding different sides of the story as well. But I think Old Enough to Know Better as a project is just a matter of where I was in a moment of time.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce, because we've been playing the crap out of this song right here on QSJ Radio. Old Enough to Know Better. Shout out to all the bad kids out there.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay to be young, still free, be young, and, as long as you're safe at the end of the day, right? I guess that's the daddy thing to say. Whatever. Lily Grace with Old Enough to Know Better.
Ain't gotta lose a bet to jump off a plane. I'm not a threat, just a little insane. The way I live might be a shock. It's good time, a clock on my watch. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. Wanna stay young and crazy forever. Wanna take chances, wanna climb heights. Chase this dream till the day I die. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. Gonna throw caution at the wind all together. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. My heart wild, so it can't be proved. If you can't smile, you can't take a joke. I'm out to live, I'll be back, hitching a ride on a hot air balloon. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. Wanna stay young and crazy forever. Wanna take chances, wanna climb heights. Chase this dream till the day I die. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. Gonna throw caution at the wind all together. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. I'm pretty good at bad decisions. I don't need no supervision. I don't ever wanna be old enough to know better. Wanna stay young and crazy forever. Wanna take chances, wanna climb heights. Chase this dream till the day I die. I don't
I need my voice. Let me scream.
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
All right, you're gonna get the introduction. Old enough to know better. Album out, right? Album out has been it's been doing its thing. It's been holding. It's been getting all the bad.
Olden.
It's shout out to everybody. Listen, there's so many people out here. So many people have so many questions, and we're gonna get to those questions here in a second. If you guys are just tuning in, we've just journeyed off into back in Lily's little age days, and now we're here into what they're doing now. Just moved to Nashville. Spring in Nashville is kind of pretty, but you kind of spent the first month of it at home.
No.
And congratulations on all that stuff, man.
Thank you.
I can't even get an artist to leave the bedroom. Like it is crazy, and I just appreciate the hard work that that you put in, and everybody else that knows the hard work that you have been putting in. And of course, everybody who has just tuned in right now, we're almost coming to the end of this conversation, but the conversation is not going to end here. Go ahead, go to lilygracelive.com. You can go ahead and check her out and all the things that are coming up. Music, tours, because it's festival time here. And
yes.
So I'll see you like in winter or something. I don't know. Because it's going to get busy for you. I do got a few questions here coming from everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody says, wants to know your industry status. So I'll kind of like break that down. Wants to know, are you signed or want to be signed or unsigned and want to stay unsigned?
I currently have a management deal and a booking deal. So I've got a Australian manager and booking agent, and then I've got a US manager. Unsigned at the moment on the label front. I'm open to it if it's the right deal, but I'm in no hurry to jump into anything if it doesn't feel right.
Now, for someone who and just give us some randoms thoughts about this. And remember, we are focused on the unsigned artists. What is a proper deal for you? What have you learned? What have you thought it was? And you don't have to give us what you're looking for, but what have you learned and what have you thought first? What it was?
I've never been signed to a label before. I've always been independent, just working with managers, just working with agents. For me, I think it's a deal that love what you're doing and take it and run with it. But also as well, there's a lot of moving parts that go into that. I think I want to be at a point where I've got enough momentum with things, and I'm obviously very new to the States. And I'm here to just run after it as hard as I can right now. But for me, I think just getting to a point where I have confidence in there's a proof of concept for what I've done, which gives me, I guess, creative control over that because you can already prove that it's working. It's definitely something I'm open to, just not a conversation we're having at the moment.
So, just so everybody knows, like you could still be a successful artist without the deal. This is working and for you in your favor. Shout out to the team, by the way. They're gonna do the hardest to get you in places, and I already know that they are doing that.
They're the best.
The songs, the writing, the performing. It seems like it's almost a 12-hour job. 12, 24, 27. What are some things that you like to do after, because you have to move away from it to get re-inspired? I'm sure that that's really something that you practice.
I'm working on it. I'm a bit of a workaholic when it comes to that kind of
my
stuff.
God.
And
Here we go.
I feel like this is a career where a lot of what you achieve is on your shoulders. And I know that if I'm in studio working on songs, I'm going to get good songs, even if it takes me a long time. If I'm putting in the hours, I'm going to eventually get what I'm after. And it's not like a normal job where you clock in and clock out. I don't really see it that way because it is such a creative path. I want to do everything I can to pursue it and give it to myself and to my audience, my believers, and my family the best effort. However, I honestly I just love hanging out with my friends, and that's the main thing I'm doing. We just make time to go and do stuff together. I come from a beach town, Dave, so I grew
Wow.
up surfing in the water, um, doing all those kind of things. So I'm finding new hobbies at the moment. Now I've moved to Tennessee, but I'm
There
into
is
like
no surf there. Like, let's get
no
serious.
surf at all. I'm gonna have to make a lake friend and like ride a
A
surfboard
lake
the back
friend.
of my boat. I think that'll be the next best solution.
So, you know, and it's real cool to know that you know and understand that if you give yourself too much breaks, you might lose an opportunity, which is
Sure.
really, really, really cool. The frustrating part, I know probably, you know, you don't like talking about it too much, but are there some frustrating moments that you could just like you've learned from or have not learned from? Because being an unsigned artist also has its like wishful thinking moments where things are not going to go as planned, or they are, or should I go to this? Is this really going to work? Are they some times of doubt, and how do you pick yourself up?
Absolutely. I feel the biggest thing I find at the moment, like as an independent artist, is because you don't have that label deal. Or I don't have a US booking agent at the moment because I'm so new here. Um, you are trying to run after those opportunities yourself, and you can waste a lot of time running after the wrong things as well. And there are a lot of events I'll pull up to when I really have work I need to be doing, but I know that there might be the right contacts there that can help me get there and I can mingle with them. And it's just disappointing when they're not there and you're wasting, I've got stuff I need to be doing and I made the time for this.
Wow.
But that's always going to happen. Like, there are so many no's, and I feel like as well because I did start like my first gigs. I tried getting gigs and everyone wouldn't book me. So my dad and I walked into the venues and like door knocked and was like, "Hi, I'm Lily. I'd love to play a show." Um, so I feel like I'm pretty used to. I'm not upset if I get the answer no. Um, but I'd be lying if it doesn't get you down sometimes. That when you pour so much of yourself into things creatively, like that does hit personally sometimes. But yeah.
You know, I heard you earlier, which was really, really cool, because I usually ask the question to an artist who's developing or either has 30 plus years in the experience. But you mentioned a lot about mentors. You mentioned a lot about people who you have asked specific guidance questions, one of them being um how how do I do this? Right?
Yeah.
Like how do I do this? Now if the tables were kind of turned and you had to be the one to give the new aspiring artists any advice, what would some of that be?
It would definitely depend on the artist specifically, and I can give a general point as well, but it's where the artist sits in their career and what they're working on. You can see if there's anything you could step in and give help to. Um, Honestly, like self-belief is going to get you so much further than anything else. If you don't believe in yourself in this industry, you're going to get stepped over and trodden on. Um, and that's something like my dad's really tried to instill in me is like, Lily, if you're going to believe in this, I'm more than happy. They're both so supportive, but I need to believe in myself first. And that comes from putting in the hours of practice. It comes from taking the time to find out who you are as an artist. And if you do the work, that confidence does come. And just, holding yourself to that.
You know, looking ahead here, we're going into spring. I know you're looking for the bookings. I know you're about to hit these festivals. I know you're about to hit these stages. some goals in 2025 and beyond. Any dream collaborations, any goals that you're chasing? I mean, you have achieved so much. And I know that was basically hometown based, but you're here. They're gonna embrace this. I know that. I know this.
I appreciate that.
But yeah.
At the moment, we've got new music coming. So the next song drops really, really soon. We actually start teasing it today on social media. So you guys go get behind that, Lily Grace Live. But I've got some shows coming up in May as well. We've got a Vegas run coming up. And then again, just building that US touring footprint and being consistent with music releases. I'm in Nashville writing pretty much, 8-10 times a week at the moment. And we're trying to just make the best music we can. So being consistent with that, putting the best songs out, being creative with our visualizers and our art, and going out and finding those people and connecting with them.
Lily Grace, such an incredible story, and one that I'm so glad that we're part of the journey. I probably won't hear from you or people until the winter when things start cooling down, literally. Much success on your US takeover. Okay.
Dave, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you making the time and being so intentional about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And let's go and get that coffee.
Oh, goodness me, I'll be there.
Lily Grace, everyone. Thank you so much, Lily. And we'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.